Hello class, this is the practice questions from August till 8th. Uh, so let's try to get started together. Alright, so here it goes. First one. Here we have this expression. We want to find out what P is, then what we can do is we can add 1 from each side. Then we will have 5P equals 2P plus 21. Now, of course, we can subtract 2P from each side. Now, then we end up getting 3P is equal to 21. Then as we divide by 3 from both sides, we'll end up getting P is equal to 7. So, there it goes. That is our answer. Alright, let's move on. Here, we see that 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. Now, this means when we add something, we get our self, which is identity property. Alright, number 2. Number 3, it says 8 less than. So this is very important. That means not 8 minus, but minus 8. That's what we'll have. 3 times a number, so therefore 3x. That's the expression we are looking at, so which will be these two. But it's greater than 15, so it has to be greater than 15. That means choice 1 will be our answer. Number 4. Here, this is median and mode questions. Here, when you look into that, 3, 4, 5, 3 numbers to the left, 3 numbers to the right. Therefore, 6 will be the median. Now, mode is the number that's most frequently coming out, which will be 7. Now, so here we realize that mode is greater than the median. Okay, we don't have that choice yet. So I guess we have to find out what mean is. In order for us to find what mean is, we need to find the basically average. Here we have 10, 20, 30, 42. So 42 divided by 7 becomes 6. The mean and the median, these are equal to each other, which means choice number 3 will be our answer. Alright. Now we want to find out the solution for this one, so we will subtract 2 from both sides. Then we have negative 4x, which is greater than 8. Now, in order for us to have x by itself, we've got to divide by negative 4. And we have x on the left side. On the right side, we will have negative 2, because positive and negative. But when we divide by negative number, we have to switch the sign. So x has to be less than negative 2. The only thing that's possible will be choice number 4. Alright, factor completely. Here we see 2 is common. So when we factor out 2, we have x squared plus 5x minus 6 left. Now, when you look into the 5 and negative 6, we will realize, bringing 2 down as it was, x plus 6 times x minus 1 would have given us negative 6 in product, but when you add them up, you will still get 5. And this means our answer should be choice number 2. Okay, so here a tank, excuse me, the gas tank in a car hose total 16 gallons to begin. Now, travel 75 miles on 4 gallons of gas, meaning after 75 miles, the 4 gallons has been reduced, meaning we actually have 12 gallons. Then here we realize that these are 2 possibilities. Both of them start with 16, but after 75 miles around here. Oh, this one used a lot, that much. Here, oh, wait a minute, it's going to be around here, which means total 4 gallons used. So this will be our answer. Alright, how do you find what x equals? First, we can subtract b from both sides. Now, then we will end up getting 3 ax equals c minus b. How do you have x by itself? by dividing it by 3a, both of them. C minus B over 3a, which is choice 3 becomes our answer. Now, next we have length of the hypotenuse was 34. Now, and then the length of one of its legs is 16. Then, what is the length in inches of the other leg? So we don't want to include this one as x. So when you use the Pythagorean theorem, so we have x squared plus 16 squared is equal to 34 squared. Now here we have, this becomes x squared, and then plus this becomes 256. Now when you square 34, we will end up getting, I believe, 1156. So when you subtract 256, x squared will be equal to 900. That makes x, technically it's going to be plus and minus, but since we are looking at dimensions, x has to be positive too. There it goes, number 4. Alright, number 10. Something has to be parallel to the x-axis. X-axis is right here. In order for it to be parallel, we have to go something like this, meaning y has to be constant no matter what, which will be choice number 2. Alright, Sam and Odell has been selling the frozen pizza. Now, here Sam has sold half as many pizza as Odell. Now, so if you have to consider Sam as x and Odell to be half as many, that means this is double the portion, 2x. And then when we try to add up everything, x plus 2x must be equal to 126. So obviously 3x is equal to 126. And when you divide by 3, x will now then becomes 40. Therefore, our answer will be choice number 2. Number 12. So we have, how are we going to find the solution step? Since both of them are equal to y, what we can do is this. We consider negative x plus 1 must be equal to x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now, when you bring everything onto one side, by adding x and subtracting 1, we then will realize 0 equals x squared plus 6x plus 5. How are we going to get that? We can factor this one, x plus 5 and x plus 1. Then we realize this one has to be equal to 0 and x has to be equal to negative 5 or negative 1. Of course, one of only thing that works is negative 5 here, as you can see. These two possibilities, negative 5. But notice this negative 1 is not the y value, it's still the x value. So when you plug in negative 5 into any one of these two, what if I were to plug in here? Negative, negative 5. That means positive 5 plus 1, 6. Okay. So there it goes. Number 2 would be the correct answer. Now, number 13. Now, so we have a parabola that goes around this way. Now, axis of symmetry. When we're looking at axis of symmetry, I believe it's going to be somewhere around to here, in the middle. About this line, we will see the symmetry. What is that equal to? X has to be equal to 3. That becomes our answer, which is choice 1. Now, next. The rate of the music is 120 beats per minute. How many beats would there be in a class of 0.75 hour long? So in this case, in order for us to calculate, since this is a rate, and this is time, the total amount will be equal to the rate times the time. What is the rate? 120. Time is 0.75 hour. Hour basically means 3/4 hour. Well, 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we end up getting this is equal to 45 minutes. About 45 minutes. So we have 45 times 120. Now, then total number becomes around 5,400. Alright, next question. Here we have area on this basketball court. Of course, the rectangular area we have 8 and 10, so we have 80 80 would be our answer for the rectangle. How about the semicircle? Since 8 can carry over here, that means the radius becomes 4. So in order to find the area of the half of a circle becomes simply 1/2 pi r squared, or the r here becomes 4. So 4 squared, that becomes our answer, which becomes 8 pi. Now then 80 plus 8 pi, which is choice number 2. Now, how many different possible arrangements can he make out of 4 golf trophies? So what if you were to just number them? G1, G2, G3, and G4. When you want to arrange them, we have 4 slots. How many of one of these things can be possible? Of course, any one of them can come. That means 4 possibilities. Here, how many? 3, because we used 1 already here. How about here? We have 2, which means we have used 2 here. And then last, we have 1. In order for us to find the correct final answer, we just have to multiply them from the idea of tree diagram. Therefore, 24 becomes our final answer. Alright, next. Here, rectangle has an area of 24 square. So area is already equal to 24. And the width is 5 units less. So this can be what? X minus 5, while this one becomes X. Now then, what are we going to do? By trying to get the area, we have X squared plus 5X equals 24. By bringing this one over, we have X squared plus 5X minus 24 equals to 0, where we have now X plus 8 and X minus 3, which makes X has to be equal to negative 8 or 3. Now, what is the question asking for? What is the length? Length is, width is 5 units less than length. So that means the length is the bigger one, which is, if this one is equal to 3, oops, I made a silly mistake here. I put it as X minus 5, I left it as X plus 5. Should have been minus 5 minus here. That means this will be negative, while this one is plus. So it's positive and negative. X has to be equal to 8. Now, box and whisker plot here, we get to realize this is the 0 percentile, meaning at the beginning. This is the 100th maximum percentile. In the middle, here's the 50th percentile, meaning that's the median. This is 25th percentile. This is 75th percentile. Now here we have 3rd quartile. That means we are looking at this value right here. What is you focusing on? 10, I guess. So 10 becomes our answer. Number 11. Now the word subtracted from, it means from here we have to subtract this. So 7g squared plus 5g minus 1. That means we have 3g squared minus 4g plus 2 hours. Now, difference simply becomes negation. So here we have 4g squared, and then negative negative becomes positive, plus 9g and minus 3. So we'll end up getting choice number 3 right over here. Couldn't find it before. Alright, let's look at number 20. Here we have, when you combine these two fractions, you get to realize something nice, which is common denominator is 15, of course. In order for you to get the 15, you have to multiply top and bottom by 3, so we end up having 6x. Here we just have to multiply by 5. Plus 5 is equal to 7x minus 2 over 15. Now here we realize, since both of them has 15 as its base, as long as top is equal to each other, then we'll be fine. So we have 6x plus 5, which is equal to 7x minus 2. We can subtract 6x and add 2, and we'll end up getting x equals 7. Right over here. Alright, so here it goes, number 21. So when we have to simplify this one, obviously 25 is common on the top, so we factor out 25. We have x minus 5. On the denominator, we can factor them by the difference of squares, x plus 5 and x minus 5. Then you will realize that x minus 5 will cancel out. Therefore, this will be left, which is number 4. Alright, here we have scatter plot and most likely the path. And can you see that most likely the path would have been somewhere along this line? I have no idea exactly what would have happened after or before. That's about the line that can go through the middle. What is that equal to? It looks like passing through about 1, so the last number has to be equal to 1. And then it's going up a little bit more, right? So therefore it's got to be 3, y equals 3 over 2x plus 1. That becomes our answer. Alright, here number 23. Independent variable, it simply means x. X increases at a constant rate, while dependent variable, that means y, is decreasing. What's happening then? In the slope, change of y over change of x. Now, y decreases, that means it's negative. X increases, that means positive. So we'll end up getting negative slope. Alright, number 24. So let's try to start from one at a time. Sine of angle A, which is 4 over 5. Sine of angle A. Is that 4 over 5? Yes, because 4 is the opposite. 5 is the hypotenuse. So in case of C, and here we can use that here too. Now, which one of these things are solutions? In fact, you can try to do this one in two different ways. One way is plug in all these 4 values here. Plug in them. Or second way is, since this is a multiple choice question, so better way would be simply plugging in and then see what happens. For example, you have to plug in this set of ordered pair into x and y location. So we have negative 5. In fact, is that less than 1/2 of 3 plus 4. Now, then here we have this one seemingly makes sense. Let's look at the second one. 3, is that greater than or equal to negative 5 plus 1. Now here becomes 3 has to be greater than or equal to 6. Does that make sense? No. So therefore negative 5 comma 3 wouldn't work. Let's try to go for the last one. How about that? 4 comma 0. Then I'm going to put 0 has to be less than 1/2 of 4 plus 4. 1/2 of 4 becomes 2, and then this becomes simply 0 is less than 6, which makes sense. So therefore our answer will be choice D. Number 26. Here, how can we express this one in the simplest form? So we have to get the product. That means we have 4x over x minus 1. And here, how can we factor them? X squared minus 1 simply becomes x plus 1 times x minus 1. And the denominator, when you factor, 3 and then x plus 1. Guess what? These two cancels out. So what's these? And that's what we have, which will be equal to 4x over 3, which is choice 1. Now here, 3x squared according to the third power. This third power will affect the regular number into the third power, and x, these two multiply becomes 6. So we have a to the third power, actually 3 to the third power, and x to the 6. 3 to the third power becomes 27. Becomes one of these two, and then exponent to exponent, we multiply them instead of adding them. Therefore, we will have number 4 to be our answer. Alright, here we have relative error. How do you find the relative error? It simply becomes difference over original, or in this case the actual. So here difference becomes simply 7. Original is equal to 282, but 289, my bad. Then whatever we calculate, this becomes our answer. Divided by 2. $89. Alright, as you continue, then this becomes about 0.024. That becomes our answer, choice number 1. Let's go for number 29. Here we have BC is equal to 10 and AB is equal to 16. The measure of the largest acute. The largest acute angle, we can try to find any one of these angles. Why don't we try to find this angle, angle B? Then these two are in the relationship of cosine because adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 16. This is the shape. Now, when you look into this one's got to be coming from cosine of theta. How do you find theta? Cosine of arc cosine of 10 over 16. That should give us the actual answer. Now, then once you do this, I believe this one is about equal to 51.3. That makes the other angle to be around 38.7-ish. So our answer will be choice number 3, which is this one. Number 30, the faces of a cube are numbered 1 through 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what is the probability that the prime number, so that means we're looking at 2, 3, 5 prime numbers, or number divisible by 2. They can be here, here, or here. Then what is the probability? So then we are looking at everything except choice number 1. Therefore, our answer is 5 choices out of 6 choices. That would have been our answer. All right. Took this much seconds to travel this much. Then average speed is 89, which is the time divided by 0.8. That becomes our answer. The answer becomes 10125. Alright, so let's look at number 32. So Brianna is using 2 spinners. Now, she spins the arrow on each spinner once, determines how many spaces to move, and then she second spinner to whether move to the forward or backwards. So now, what is the probability that Brianna will move fewer than? That means less than 4 spaces backwards. Now, fewer than 4 spaces, that means we are looking at 1, 2, and 3. That means this is 3 out of 4. And then backwards simply means 1/2. But the word and here implies we have to multiply these two fractions. Then we end up getting 3 out of 8 will be our final answer. Right. Now here we have, okay. Alright, then I guess we're going to move on to the next question first. Number 35. Here, when you make a chart, x and y, when x goes from -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. You can plug these values in place of x using your calculator. Then you'll be getting something like this. When it's -1, we will have 0.5. And then 1, 2, 4, 8. So when you plot these values, -1, then 0.5, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2, and 4, and then 3, and 8. So as you can see, the candle goes up like this. Something like that. That's basically what we are looking for. Now, will this graph ever intersect x-axis? In fact, the answer would be no, because 2 to the x will never be equal to 0. That's why. Alright, let us move on. Number 36. Now we're looking for the equation that passes through these two things. So first, let us try to find the slope. Slope is maybe 4 minus 0 over 5 minus -5. Then this becomes 4 over 10 We can simplify that to be 2 over 5 if you want to. Now, since we know the slope, technically the easiest way would have been using the y minus y sub 1, which is equal to m slope times x minus x sub 1. If we have to use that, that would be the easiest to get our answer. So we have y minus y sub 1, which is 4. And the slope was 2/5. X minus x sub 1 will be 5. So this could have been our answer quite easily. If you want to find out y equals mx plus b format, you have y equals m, which is 2/5, times x plus b. Now you can plug in 5 and 4 once again. Then 4 will be equal to 2/5 times 5 plus b. Now 5 of course cancels out. We end up getting 4. 4 equals 2 plus b. Then you now realize that b is equal to 2. So therefore our final answer would have been y equal to 2/5 x plus b, x plus 2. Or this one. Either way would have been okay. Alright, next question. The cost of 3 markers and 2 pencils. So here we have 3m plus 2p is equal to 180. Notice that I'm not using the decimal point. That means these are all cents. Second, we have 4m plus 6p will be equal to 290. I think we can easily make the first one to be 6p by multiplying by negative 3. And we get what? Negative 9m, negative 6p, which would be equal to negative 540. When you add them up, these will cancel out. We have negative 5m, which now equals to negative 250. So marker, when you divide by negative 5, will be equal to 50. I believe it's 50 cents. Now, when you plug in 50 cents, we should be able to figure out the other value. Since 3 times of the 50 cents plus 2p is equal to 180. So when you do that, then we end up getting 2p is equal to 30. When you divide by 2, p is equal to 15. Alright, that becomes our final answer for this question. Alright, now number 38. We just have to put up the tally, and let's just count one at a time. 6 goes right here. 5, 4, so here 3, 0, 7, 1, 5, 4, 4, and then 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4, 0, 7. Wow, this is exactly in the middle. So we have 3 frequencies. 7, 7, 3. Total we end up having 20. Very nice. You have cumulative frequency. First, 0 through 3 was 3. 0 through 1 was equal to 3. Up to 3, then we just have to add up those 2, becomes 10. Next one is 17 because you have to add up all those 3 things. Now the last one becomes 20. Excuse me. The histogram now. So we'll have So what we like to do here becomes 0 to 1, zero to 1, we have 3. Now next one is from 1 to 2, we had 7. That means 7 from 3 units, so we have 3, 3, 7. So 0 through 1, 2 to 3, cumulative. Now next one is 7. We have to go up by another 7. 3, 3, 3, 3. So here it becomes 4 to 5. The next one is simply 3 more, so we have 6 to 7. Goes up. All right. Here we have graphically. Now, the fact that we want to sketch this one. So turning point is x equals negative b over 2a. So that means negative b becomes 4 over 2 times a becomes 1. So therefore we have negative 2 set up. So therefore the values that we are looking at is around negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 1, and 0. So let's try to put these values in and see what happens. When you plug in 0, obviously we will be left with negative 5 because this becomes 0, this becomes 0. When we have negative 1, this becomes 1, while this one is negative 4. So it becomes total negative 8. When you plug in negative 2 here, it becomes negative 8. So therefore negative 13, but the negative 2 squared becomes 4, so end up being negative 9. When you plug in 3, it becomes 9, but here it becomes negative 20. Negative 12. So this becomes, if I were to rewrite, when you plug in negative 3, it becomes here 9. Here minus 12, minus 5. Then what we end up getting is, here we get negative 8. When you plug in the negative 4 into the expression, we will end up getting negative 5. Notice that these are the smallest, so we have negative 2, 9, 2, 4. Alright, and then negative, okay, negative 8, negative 8, and negative 5, negative 5. And it just keeps on going. Now we have y equals x minus 1. X minus 1 simply means from negative 1, x minus 1. Now, I believe this is it. So all points of solutions. So we have, this is one such point. And second one, slope is equal to 1. So we have going up and up and up and up. And probably this will be the next point where this line will cut across. So therefore, our answer is -4, -5. Here we have 1, 0. When you plug in, all right, both of them are equal to 0. That's it. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys later.